Good morning, lovelies. Welcome to our Friday morning yoga. For everybody who's joining in live, thanks for joining. For those of you who are watching the replay, welcome. All right, so as always, let's just start with a little bit of centering. This really helps to shift our focus because yoga is very much an inward practice. So I invite you to place one hand on your heart, one on your baby, close your eyes, and take a few nice deep breaths. As you're breathing, just acknowledging the effort that it took to maybe get here to your mat today. And now that you are here on your mat, give yourself permission to be 100% here. Showing up for yourself and showing up for this little person who's growing inside you. And now let's start with some nice gentle movements to wake up our bodies. So just starting with some shoulder rolls. And then our curl and release. So you're curling your spine and then you're inhaling and looking up. This is one of the best movements you can do for the spine. It's great to do all throughout the day. Really nice to do in the morning. So let's do that 2 more times. If you like, you can add in an arm. If you're adding in an arm, you're just inhaling and stretching one arm up. Exhaling, closing, inhaling, and stretching the other one. That adds in a nice shoulder aspect to this stretch. So let's do that one more time. Good. And then release. We're going to do a great shoulder stretch. It's one of my favorites. Looks a little strange, but it feels really great. You bring one arm up straight in front of you. You sweep the other one underneath. If your hands touch, awesome. If they don't, no worries. That's awesome too. And you're rolling your shoulders back and down and then letting those elbows extend forward. And as those elbows extend forward, you're going to feel this great stretch in between your shoulder blades. And now let's do that on the other side. So go ahead and give yourself a couple shoulder rolls. That's another really great one to do, especially if you happen to sit at a computer or you spend a lot of time on the computer. And then second side, shoulders rolling down and back, elbows extending, breathing into the stretch. And then just for the side of the body, we're just going to plant a hand and stretch. And plant a hand and stretch. So just going back and forth. This is great just to create some space in the body so it feels like there's enough room for you and baby. So it doesn't feel so squishy. And then let's move from here into a twist. So we're going to sit nice and tall. We're going to look over one shoulder, giving our spine a nice twist. This is a safe twist for pregnancy, by the way. Good, and then release, and then looking over the second side. And release. So some days I feel like doing a very gentle practice and I don't do a lot of standing poses, and that's okay. It's okay to have your posture sort of vary with your energy levels. So there may be days where you want to do a practice that's more vigorous, and there may be days that you want to do a practice that's a bit softer. So we're going to do a nice soft practice today. We're we're now going to start working with our hips, because hips are an area that need a lot of extra TLC during pregnancy. So just take your legs to begin. Take your legs and just kind of shake them out. We're going to start with a nice strengthening one. So we're going to stretch out through the heels and up through the top of the head. It's this posture that doesn't look like you're doing anything, but to sit nice and tall in it actually takes some effort. We're rolling our shoulder blades down our back. Kind of our shoulder blades are, you think about your shoulder blades, your wings kind of going like this. So you're kind of tucking those back and down. Good. I'm just going to breathe here. I like to close my eyes when I'm hanging out in a posture, unless it's a standing posture where you need the eyes to balance. But if you're not needing the eyes to balance, I like to close my eyes because it helps me just go inward. And like I said at the beginning, yoga is very much an inward practice. All right, so now we're going to do a hip stretch. Now for this one, it's really good if you have a little bit of a height underneath you. So you can use like a green or one of those foam blocks. But if you don't have a foam block, and I do, but I don't know where they are right now, so I'm just going to grab myself a pillow. So if your pillow compresses a lot, you can even grab two, and that's just going to create a little bit extra height and makes it a little bit easier to do some of these hip stretches that we're going to do. So the first one is we're just going to tuck one leg in, and we're going to walk the other one across. And you're going to just walk it to wherever it goes. If it stops right here, great. If you can tuck it a little bit further, that's great too. And now I know your baby is like right here, but you do have enough space just to come forward a little bit. And often that's all it takes, and you'll get this great stretch, especially across the back of the hips. If you struggle with any sciatic issues, this is a really good one to do. So now we're just going to hang out here, take a few breaths. And let that stretch. And then we're going to release, and let's do the other side. So walk that second foot in, walk it across, tuck it in. Inhale, get nice and tall. And exhale, coming forward just enough so that you feel the stretch. Good. And then exhale and release. Give the legs a little bit of a shake. All right, continuing with a little bit of help for our hips. Another really nice hip one is so you bring one foot up like so. The other foot's going to come back like this, and you're just going to come into a bit of a half squat. So as you let your hips descend, you're going to start feeling that. And you're gonna feel it in here, you're gonna feel in here, you're probably gonna feel it across the back of your hips. And this is a great one to just hang out and rock. So I'm just gently moving my hips from the left to the right. So it's an awesome hip stretch. Hip stretching is a really good thing to do before bed as well, so that the hips are better able to stay comfortable throughout the whole night. All right, and inhale, come on up. So just switching sides, bringing the other foot up. Letting that second leg just kind of go back, and then gently coming down into this half squat position. Letting that stretch and just rocking into it. And close your eyes, take a few nice deep breaths, and just let the stretch happen. Good, and then release. We're going to move into child's pose. So for child's pose during pregnancy, you want to keep the knees wide apart so there's lots of space for your baby. And you can grab your pillows or a bolster if you have a bolster and put it out in front of you. You can lay down with your chest on the pillows like so. You can keep just your forehead on the pillows, Or if you prefer, you can stretch your arms out and let your forehead rest right onto the mat. So whichever version's right for you. And this one is a surrender posture. So we're just going to let the body rest in this posture. Taking some nice deep breaths. This also is a great release for the hips as well as for the low back. And then from there, you're just going to gently move into the position that you prefer for relaxation. Like I said, today was just a really soft, gentle yoga practice, which is also so nourishing. All right, so just laying down either on your side or in a semi-reclined position. Make sure that you're well supported. Getting settled. And then take a few nice deep breaths. Let your eyes gently close. And set your intention to rest, to allow your body to integrate the benefit of the stretches and the movements that we did together today. As you breathe in, let every inhalation be nourishing, and let every exhalation be a kind of letting go. Just letting your breath flow in and out, and let your mind just float on your breath. Whole body soft, resting and relaxed. And let this peace that you found inside of you, let that be the peace that carries you throughout your day today. And with that, gently open your eyes, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, come back to a seated position, bring your hands into prayer for our blessing. Bow your head, bless yourself, bless your baby, and each other. Namaste. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you back here next week. Take care, everyone.